Hey everybody, my name is Patrick O'Mullen. I hope you're all doing well. I'm here to show off my final project. It's called TextFlex, and it's designed to automatically fetch your textbooks from your schedule on Bannerweb and the bookstore using Python web scraping, which is pretty neat. So, what does it do? Like I kind of just said already, it's intended to streamline the whole process of obtaining your textbooks every quarter. And what it'll effectively do is it requires you to create an account with the application, and it stores your relevant login information for your Bannerweb account on your account on the application that I've created. And it uses web scraping to pull your schedule from Bannerweb and then inputs that information right into your the Barnes and Noble store and gets your books. So it's basically to streamline the whole process of arduously grabbing all of that information and plugging it into some bar, possibly just to find that you don't have any books listed. So who does it help? Pretty obviously, it helps WPI college students specifically who need to get their textbooks in a less arduous, more streamlined process and would probably like more cheap results to show up rather than just the school store's result, which I've at least personally found to be more expensive. So now we're going to move on and talk about some of the implementation. So as you can see here, I designed it to work on both the desktop and the mobile applications. On the left-hand side here, you can see the login page or the landing page when you haven't logged in yet. And as well as the page you see when you do log in, you can select your terms. So here we have the mobile version of those same two pages mirrored over so that you could see how they perform on both systems. Continuing on with that, this is what happens when you load your results. So if you were to select a term, this is my A term results for my personal account. There's this loading spiral, which is intended to keep the user posted. I originally wanted to work with a loading bar, but I found in testing that that was just much less informative of what was actually going on. Uh, this at least keeps you posted that the system is still working. Um, this whole page would go black if it failed. So the fact that this is spinning is keeping the user in contact with the system, being aware of what's going on, that it is loading your results. Here we have a snippet from the desktop version. This is my book from my operating systems class in A-term. You can see there's some approved sellers because I didn't want to send to potentially fishy websites. So Amazon and Barnes and Noble show up for links here. And on the far right hand side, you can see my Intro to Electrodynamics book show up for the mobile version with Amazon up here. And so we can continue on now. So the last thing I want to talk about in the slides is just sort of the system features. So what I found was everyone I tested really seemed to like it and find it useful, and they said what should it have been made available, they would be using it to get their books, that it saved them time and a lot of effort, and they ended up getting some results that were cheaper than what they normally do. So it's thankfully met all of the metrics, and that felt pretty good. Some additional things I added were an account page so that you can modify your information. Here's the desktop version of it and the mobile version. I originally created this because I had plans of allowing users to save results or a favorites section so you could buy the books later. I couldn't get around to it in the 7 weeks, but I still intend to as I continue forward with this application. So here we are in the desktop version. And right here you can see welcome to TextFlex. We're going to create an account from scratch. So my username, I'll do PJ O'Mullen. That's my WPI username. I will put in my WPI email address, and I'll type in a password. There will be a different. They can be different passwords between your Bannerweb account, which has to have its own specific field in there, and your login for the site. That's just how it ended up working out with the design. It wound up being a little bit more secure that way. And now we're going to sign into this new account. You can see it gave me the feedback here that my account was created. And here we are in the main page. So like you saw in the slides, you saw my A-term results. So let's quickly show you that. So you can see we have the spiral here. And just to prove everything still looks good on the mobile version, the menu is fully interactive. You're not frozen here waiting while it happens. You can still click things, the drop-down menu, without stalling the results. So here we have my textbook results. We can click here to see Amazon. It brings up the Amazon page. We can scroll forward. My electrodynamics book that you saw on the slides. I can click Barnes and Noble this time, and there that is, right there. And we can go back to the select term, and now we can sort of get into some of the error handling. So, C term, I have one book that's been assigned for one of my courses, and the rest have not selected a book yet. So, we're going to see how it handles that error to make sure that it doesn't disrupt the user experience. Again, this can take a little while to load. This is just how the web scraping program works. It can't be sped up, unfortunately. So, here we go. This is the one book that was actually selected. And again, you can click the link, and right there you go to the one page where I could find it on the approved sellers list. And here with other classes, you could see that instead of crashing or getting upset and ruining the user experience, it just simply says there's no textbook yet. And it does that for any class that doesn't have anything listed yet. So the last couple error handling situations we want to encounter. So D term, the Barnes & Noble store has nothing listed yet to select for D term. So again, we're going to see how this prevents the user from breaking the program and keeps their experience very fluid and free. It just simply says, sorry, books aren't selected for this term yet. E1 and E2, I'm not registered for anything in the summer, so likely we would have another breaking thing, but here it stops that from happening again and keeps everything in control. So the next thing to go over is the account, which you can see here. We have my account. This is the default profile picture. I can edit my username, my email, my banner web password, and I can choose to update my profile picture here as a machine learning thing, and I can save it. And oops, it wants you to approve every time you do an update. And you could see it changed right there. And so again, one last thing to show, inspect, and there we go. You can see it works on mobile still. Still works on mobile. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to sign out of my account for the last thing, and you can see it keeps me updated saying, okay, you signed out. So that's pretty much it for the application. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all had fun working on your projects too, and enjoy the break.